Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this video may find you, whether you're live or watching the replay. So welcome. Been offline for a few days, tending to a few of those weather-related and just circumstance-related issues. So my apologies for not following up on this next variable in our series. So we'll hang back for just a few seconds here before we get started, and then we'll get going. Today, we will be talking about the fifth variable in the mindset of life, which is one of the keys to the entrepreneurial success, entrepreneurial life that many people seek. It's a mindset thing. Anything in life really is made better if you have a mindset that is effective in serving, and so that's what we've been talking about these past several videos, is essentially the mindset of life. And in my context, what that is how it applies to the entrepreneurial lifestyle. And you have to go backwards to some of the prior videos to really understand what that's all about. So those videos are archived, of course, in my video files, and you can also find them on another site where I will put a link. But what we're going to be talking about today is the fifth variable of the mindset of life, and that's a passion, and we'll get to that here in just a moment. Hey, Sarah and Ed, thanks. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, so one of the things that I find interesting about passion is it's oftentimes kind of confused. People don't necessarily understand what it is, but they know when they've got it, and sometimes they have no clue when they don't have it. So here's an interesting definition of passion, and this is from the Urban Dictionary. And I find the Urban Dictionary kind of interesting because it doesn't have the classic definitions. It's got more of a colloquial definition that is, I don't know, I guess more commonly understood. But here's the definition of passion from the Urban Dictionary. A word used to describe an emotion of a strong feeling for another person. Now that's the one that most people align with, isn't it? But here's the one I want to clue you into. This is the one that I think is more relevant to the entrepreneurial lifestyle. Here it is. Passion is when you put more energy into something than is required to do it. It is more than just enthusiasm or excitement. Passion is ambition that is materialized into action, resulting in putting as much heart, mind, body, and soul into something as is possible. That's a kind of a definition of passion I think most of us can get behind. You see, passion isn't just something about romance. It's a life energy. It's what moves you forward. It's what lights the fire. And as one of my friends says, Robert Hollis, who lives just a little ways over the mountain here, he calls it a pop. In other words, point of passion. It's when something that pops into your mind connects and ignites a deeper passion. That's a pop. And oftentimes that's because of a feeling. Now, all of this goes all the way back to the first, the first of the variables that we talked about, which was desire. You see, desire is what? It was where dreams meet an emotional engagement. That's the beginning of passion. It kind of excites you emotionally, and so you start to think about the possibilities to the point where you now make a decision to pursue that desire. And along the way, of course, you have to adjust your attitude so that your values, your beliefs, your attitude, your thoughts, everything that goes into that category align with and are congruent with that which you seek in that pursuit of that desire. And that leads you to a purpose, which was the last variable we talked about, the fourth variable. And now with this fifth variable, passion, this is what happens when your purpose now aligns with who you truly are. You get that pop, that point of passion. It's the igniting point of a life well served. It takes you forward. That's what we're looking for when we say passion. Passion is unique, though. You know, it's when somebody tries to describe their passion, it comes with a word, and that word is feeling. Passions are about feeling, and your feelings are as unique as you are. They are as unique as your mindset of life. They are as unique as the impact you make on the world. So this passion thing is really a gate to the future. You know, when you have a purpose, if you don't feel passion for that purpose, that's not a purpose. That's not your purpose. You need to back up and start looking at how you got to that purpose, because it may be a reflection of what other people think you need to do, and you're just doing what other people think you need to do. If there's no passion behind it, if there's no emotional and physical energy as described in that definition, that's a that's a really dull way to proceed in life. That's a point where you stop and you ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? If you don't find an emotional engagement and an excitement in this purpose you've defined, the good news is you can stop before you spend a lot of emotional energy, time, and money, because your passion wasn't there. So that's why passion is such a critical variable. It's a gating variable. Once you have it, you know it, you move forward to the next variable, which we'll talk about tomorrow. But passion is one of those things that you acquire. It may wash over you. It may just all of a sudden hit you like a ton of bricks, so to speak. But usually what happens is it ignites with a spark that then explodes over a period of time. And the reason for that is because something interests you, something excites you. You're trying to get in touch with those feelings. And then as you do, you start to see the bigger picture. You start to see the value in this passion, in this purpose you have, and it just expands. That's the cool thing about passion. You shouldn't wait until you get hit in the head with a brick of passion. You're going to be waiting a long time in many cases. Now, some people just hit it, they find it, they're off and running, and they never look back. But those are few and far between. The rest of us, we have to kind of find it in our life. We have to find it in this exercise of defining our purpose. Now, when people talk about passion, if you ask them, why is that important to you? Mostly people will say, because I feel good, I feel loved, I feel fulfilled, I feel valuable, I feel significant, I feel. The word feel pops into it. Well, what is a feeling? Well, here's an interesting definition that I recently learned. A feeling is the intersection of thought and emotion. Thought, of course, being a conscious activity. You are aware of your thoughts mostly. Thoughts that give rise to passion, for example, are backed by feelings. The emotions you feel, those are largely below the level of consciousness. So you've got a conscious activity in thought aligning with an emotional activity that's somewhere down below. The two come together to produce a feeling. And that's one of the reasons we feel like we like something. We feel we have a passion for something because a thought is registering with an emotion. Now, backing up to our discussion about attitude for just a moment, down below the feelings, down below the thoughts, down below the emotions are your values and beliefs that you acquired through both passive and active programming. And this is why we talked about attitude, the general category of attitude being so important, because that is a grounding variable. In other words, if you have your attitude, which is comprised of the thoughts, feelings, values, beliefs, the actions and results that you achieve, that then gives you the perfect template over which to lay a life of passion, because you are certain of what it is that you are comprised of. You know your attitudes, you know your values and beliefs. At least you know them well enough to recognize when the passion is right for you. So it really connects back to that attitude very strongly, and of course it connects all the way back to desire. Now, passion is personal, and this is really important. Your passion ultimately is going to produce a result in your life. And that result, hopefully, if you're an entrepreneur or really anybody, is an impact on the world in some form. Now, our passions must not be compared to others. It's like many things in life. When you have a passion for something, you don't compare it to somebody else and say, well, my passion isn't as strong as Judy over here, and gee, if my passion isn't as strong as theirs, then it really must not be very good. That's comparing, and that's ridiculous. Your passion is uniquely you, just like the impact that you will make is uniquely you, just like your values and beliefs and everything that comes into making who you are. It is you, and so your passion is yours. It is valuable. It has exactly what you need to move forward. Don't compare it to anybody else. Nurture it, grow it, pay attention to it, and see where it takes you. Because if we're following the mindset of life formula, then you already have defined a purpose that you can begin with. It may change. Your passion may alter it, may grow it, may completely erase it and replace it with something else. But that's part of the checks and balances of having a mindset of life. And it's a touchy-feely thing. Passion is not something that you can quantify with a number. I mean, you can get up in the morning and say, well, let's see, my state of passion today is, I think it's a 3. Or you may jump out of bed and jump right into your clothes and even forget about what you were doing that day because you're so passionate about what you want to do. And you put a number on it and say, that passion is 10. But you really can't put a number on it, because when you do, you start feeling like, well, I'm a 2 today, so I'm not really going to do anything. No. Passion is a feeling. It is not quantifiable in the sense of putting a number on it. It is a feeling. You feel it's right, you don't feel it's right. When it doesn't feel right, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It simply means that you have to sit back and let your mind re-engage. And sometimes just the stress of life defeats your passion. When you've got a passion for something, it can be a number of things. See, it's not dedicated to just one thing. I mean, you can have a passion for your family, your friends, your loved ones. You can have a passion for a hobby. You can have a passion for a cause. You can have a passion for something that you just absolutely love to do, whatever it may be. It could be fishing, it could be music, it could be a cause like cancer awareness, or any number of things. You have multiple parallel passions. And these are important to you because they connect back to fulfilling your needs. Needs are basically what? They are you calling to be fulfilled in some make, shape, way, or form. And they're the 6 needs that we've talked about in the past. You can have multiple passions that address different needs. But ultimately, in the end, a passion is something that you embrace because it makes you feel good in that particular area of your life. It is uniquely you, just as your needs are, just as your DNA is unique. And so passion is one of those things you spend some time on. And you can dilute yourself, of course. If you've got too many things going on, if you've got too many passions, then you're going to dilute yourself. You may feel perpetually fulfilled as you leap from one passion stone to another, crossing the river of life. But it's a lot of passions, and it's okay to have a few. You just don't want so many that you're expended, that nothing is getting your full emotional energy. So consequently, what's really important is to make sure that you align the passion that you spend most of your focus and energy on with your purpose. And of course, that purpose is aligned all the way back to your decision to pursue your desires. That's just the responsibility that you have as a person, as an entrepreneur. You have to make a choice, and it's not to drop your other passions necessarily. It's to align your energy, your focus, the majority of your emotional investment capital, so to speak, to pursue the passion that aligns with the rest of your mindset of life. Now, the beautiful thing about doing that is when you can align like that, when you can focus like that, when you're done putting your energy packet for the day into that particular passion, you now have energy left for these other passions, because you haven't burned it all up trying to pedal 5 different bicycles at the same time. You're just pedaling one. It's this passion for the moment. You're done with that. That has fulfilled your focus on that particular endeavor. You move to the next one and you engage in it in the moment. And if there's one thing that tends to sandbag entrepreneurs, tend to hold them back, it's they've got too many things going on in their mind that are not focused and congruent with their purpose. And that is true of passion. You can dilute your passions by doing too many things at the same time. So the responsibility you have is just to get in touch with the passions that align with your purpose. And it may take some time. You have to write it down, but you got to feel something. If you're not feeling it, then somewhere down deep, there's a question. And the question is that purpose really what I want? Or it could be, why is it I can't get my passion for this purpose? You may have to go back and say, what's blocking me? Because you know the purpose resonates with you, something that really excites you, but it hasn't pushed you into the passionate pursuit phase yet. So you sit back and you say, okay, what blocks do I have? What inhibits do I have? What down deep is holding me back from letting my emotions engage? You can feel that pop. You can feel the spark. It just hasn't ignited into a full-blown flame. Listen to that. Listen to your heart. Listen to your mind as they engage in that conversation of thought and emotion, creating the feeling that then starts to propel you forward. Listen carefully to yourself because, as I said, this is a unique journey into life. That's what entrepreneurship is. Passion is a part of that. Now, when it comes to sharing your passion with others, you have to do that. Keeping a passion to yourself is a lot like standing out in the middle of the woods and delivering the Gettysburg Address or some powerful speech. Nobody's listening. Nobody's getting the benefit of your passion. Nobody is having that pop moment of their own for having listened to you, for having observed you, for having watched you light up, to live larger, to play bigger, because you've got a passion for something. You know, you just can't do that. You got to share it. And sometimes that's what holds you back. You're afraid to share a passion because you're afraid of what other people think. Well, what's the cure for that? The cure is really very simple. It goes back to your purpose. Who are you trying to impact? What legacy do you want to leave? What is the statement that you want to make to the world? And who cares? Where are the millions of people who need what you have to offer? Where are the other people just like you who need to see you step out and watch your passion grow and demonstrate it to the world in your actions and in your convictions? That's the cure for sitting on a passion and feeling that you don't want to expose yourself to others. And sometimes that has to do with approval. You know, you don't want to leave others behind. You don't want people to reject you because they don't have the passion you do. And so they want to drag you back. You know, it's like, what is it? It's crabs in water, in boiling water. If a crab tries to escape, the other crab will reach up and yank them back down. If you realize that's going on in your life, you have to make a choice. You either live your passion with conviction, letting others see it, influencing others, letting your light shine on them and warm them, or you drop the passion and retreat into the cave of life of obscurity. Well, that's brutal, isn't it? That's why passion is so important. It lights up your life. You share it, you demonstrate it, you move it forward. It becomes your life mantra for the moment as you move forward to the next phase, which is enthusiasm, and the phase beyond that, which we'll get to, which is vision. So that's today's discussion on the purpose of passion in the whole entrepreneurial scheme. In fact, in the whole scheme of life. A life without passion, you know, that's a lot like having a ball and chain anchored around your ankles, standing on a frail bridge over a very deep gorge. You're just ready to fall off of life because no passion has filled your soul. Boy, that's deep. That's getting metaphorically deep. Okay. Well, that's the discussion for today, and I just wanted to share that with you because we're going to go into the next variable tomorrow, and that variable is enthusiasm. And enthusiasm and passion share a common energy. But the difference is enthusiasm is what I call the catalyst for passion. Passion is created, it has a form, but when you add enthusiasm to passion, what has occurred there is you have now recognized a synergy in your soul. You're passionate about something, and now when you become enthusiastic about it, what's happening there is your conscious mind and your subconscious mind have connected. They have said, I got this. I get it now. I'm not going to hold you back anymore. I'm not going to hold you back for fear that you might be doing something wrong. I'm not going to try to protect you. I'm going to take the roadblock off, and we're going forward. We're moving as fast as we possibly can. That's enthusiasm. That's how enthusiasm gets connected to passion. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Okay, now for some goofy reason, I just detected an echo in my system. I hope it's not echoing on the other end. I just saw the little bars jumping up and down, so that's weird. But anyway, thank you for attending today, and for those watching the recording, by all means, your comments, your ideas, you say, oh, yep, you bet. Robert, welcome on board, and happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. So that's today's session again. Tomorrow we'll be back live with enthusiasm. And after we get done with enthusiasm, we're moving on to vision. Now, vision is a big topic, and we're going to spend a lot of time on vision. And as I've said in the past, purpose is your external manifestation of your vision. Purpose is what leads you forward to the world. It's what the world sees. But between purpose and vision, vision being the internal part, the person you are becoming, such that you are worthy, deserving, and capable of delivering that purpose, that's a journey. And there's a lot involved in vision. And so we're going to spend quite a few days actually kind of going over the mechanics of vision, connecting it all the way back to the dreams, desires, decision, attitude, purpose, passion. Okay. Well, that's it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you once again, and once again for those picking up the replay, comments, ideas, suggestions, thoughts, anything, I appreciate it. So you have a great day, and we'll see you out there.